right, we're gonna work out some questions and you need paper and pencil. And then the video is going to stop and let you type in your answer. So here we go. Question 1. Stephanie is designing a kite. What is the length of PR? So the video will pause. You're going to type in A, B, C, or D. The correct answer was C, 14. So because we had a perpendicular bisector, that created these two sides being the same. So I set them equal to each other, solved and got a 4, stuck a 4 back in. Final answer was C. All right, next question. A triangular shaped garden is shown. Can the fountain be placed at the circumcenter and still be inside of the garden? So it's a yes or a no, and give me some reasons why. So if you twist your head, look at it just the right way, angle A is obtuse. In an obtuse triangle, the circumcenter is outside of the triangle, so the answer was no. The fountain would not be inside the garden, the fountain would be outside of the garden because we have an obtuse angle, obtuse triangle. Isn't this fun? Okay, here's our next question. So this one's complicated because you have to say which of the following statements is true. If you pick A, only statement 1 is true. Only 2 is true, only 3 is true, 2 and 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now let's read the question. In the figure, point P is the circumcenter of the triangle. Okay, the video will pause. Type in A, B, C, D, or E. What is the correct answer? All right, so let's look at it. If I pick choice 1, I'm saying that blue equals blue. Well, that's not true for a circumcenter. Remember, we're bisecting the sides, which means that the distance to the corners is going to be equal. So this is not true, so it cannot be A, and it can't be E. So now we need to know, is only 2, only 3, or 2 and 3? Well, if we pick choice 2, pink, then we're saying that from the circumcenter to the corner is equal, which is true. So now we either have B or we have D. All right, choice 3 is saying that yellow equals yellow. From P to K is equal to P to L. And I say that that's true, and I say that that's true, which makes choice D the correct answer. All right, here's our next question. Line BD is the perpendicular bisector to segment AC. They want the perimeter of the triangle. All right, well, if we know it's a perpendicular bisector, we know it's bisecting, so we have blue equaling blue, so 4 and 4. Then, because of theorem 5.1, we know that green would equal green, so we need to figure out X. So I set the two greens equal to each other. I get X equals 2, and I'm going to stick it back in to find the length of AB or CB. All right, so green is 5. So to find the perimeter, I'm going to take 5 plus 5 plus 4 plus 4. So choice D was the correct answer, 18. Okay, let's look at this question. Given that MQ is 0.9, MP is 2.9, and MN is 1.8, we have to do part A, what is the value of NQ, part B, what is the relationship, and part C, which is multiple choice. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video, work on part A. All right, so I labeled everything. I did pink right here, 0.9, green, 2.9, yellow, the whole thing is 1.8. They want to know NQ. NQ would also be pink. Well, I have the wrong answer. It is not 1.8. The correct answer should have been 0.9. Silly me. 0.9 centimeters or units, whatever it is. Okay, now work on B. What is the relationship of those two triangles, and explain. All right, so they want to know what's the relationship between purple and orange. They are equal, or you could say congruent. We know that we had a pink side, NQ. We have, let's see, what color have I not done? Orange, I guess I could do orange. This side matches itself, and these are right triangles, right angles. So I have a leg and another leg. So because of leg, they have to be equal or congruent. All right, part C wants to know the perimeter of triangle MPN. All right, so we had a green side of 2.9, a matching green side of 2.9 since we proved leg, and then we have a 1.8, so the answer was C. All right, these last two questions, woo, get ready, they are a doozy. We have to write an equation, and the equation has to be in slope-intercept form, and it's got to be the perpendicular bisector of the segment that has these endpoints. So my first question is, when you see slope-intercept form, what does that make you think? What do we need to know? What are we going to do? What comes to mind when it says slope-intercept form? Well, what comes to my mind is y equals mx plus b. Also, what comes to my mind is know 3, find b. All right, next question. When it says perpendicular, what does that make you think of? What do we need to know about perpendicular? Well, perpendicular means the opposite inverse slope. So whatever the slope between A and B, I'm going to find the opposite inverse, and that's going to be my M for my know 3, find B. All right, last question, when it says bisector, what does that make you think of? What do we need to know? What are we going to do there? Well, bisectors, that's the same as midpoint. We haven't done midpoint since chapter 1. So we need to find the middle between A and B, and we need to know it as coordinates. That's going to become our X and Y for know 3, find B. So let's recap. Slope-intercept form, know 3, find B. Perpendicular is going to be the opposite inverse of this slope, and then the midpoint is going to be halfway between A and B as ordered pair. Okay, so I think what we should do first is orange. I think we should find the slope of these and opposite inverse. Type that answer in. All right, you should have gotten -7/2. So I subtracted my y's, 1 minus 3. I subtracted my x's, -3 minus 4. I got -2/7, -2/7, which is +2/7. Then I flipped it and changed the sign. Okay, pause the video and find the bisector. Find the midpoint between these two. Remember, you could draw a picture and use the picture, and you want to go halfway sideways and halfway up and down, or there was a formula for finding the midpoint. The formula was x plus x divided by 2. It was like a little mini average, and y plus y divided by 2. Or you can, like I said, draw a picture, and you can count side to side, up and down, and go halfway. All right, you should have gotten 1/2, 2. So now I know 3. I can find b. I know my m, which is opposite inverse, and I know my x and my y because that's the midpoint, bisector of a and b. All right, finish it out. Give me the equation. All right, the correct answer is y equals -7/2x plus 3 3/4. All right, now the video is going to stop. Oops, and it's going to be your turn to do 42 all by yourself. You've got to find the opposite inverse, find the midpoint, use that to know 3, find b, and come up with your equation. All right, my final answer is y equals 6/7 x plus 2 5/14. My m was 5 minus -2, -4 minus 2. So there was my slope, and then I opposite inversed it. I found the midpoint, add the x's, cut it in half, add the y's, cut it in half. I ended up with -1 and 1.5. Then I did no 3, find b. Here's my y. Here's my m. Here's my x. I went ahead and changed this. First I was going to change it to 1.5, and then I thought, let's go ahead and get common denominators. So I got 1 7/14. Then I'm going to add 6/7. Well, that's the same as 12/14. I got an improper fraction, so I changed it to 2 5/14. There's my final answer. Hope you were correct. All right, you may begin your homework. It's uploaded to Google Classroom.